It hit me one day that the only thing we really have to do in this world is to do something. It's such a simple thought, but it can hold a ton of weight, especially when you're an illustrator navigating the often turbulent waters of creativity. So many of us get caught up in our heads, worrying about whether our next piece will be good enough or if we're doing it right. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter if we're creating a masterpiece or doodling in the margins of our sketchbooks. What truly counts is that we're putting our pens to paper and making something happen. Let's dive into how this idea can change the game for us creatives. First off, I think we can all agree that the art journey is a bit like trying to climb a mountain. You start with a vision at the peak where you hope to be one day. And along the way, you face all sorts of obstacles. It can be overwhelming, right? Will my style ever be what I want it to be? Or how can I get my work seen by more people? Those questions can paralyze us, leading to a cycle of inaction. But when we remind ourselves that the key is simply to do something, anything, we take that first step forward and cut through the haze. Let's wrangle those feelings of uncertainty and transform them into action. It can be as simple as setting a timer for 10 or 15 minutes and committing to draw or paint without stopping. Don't overthink it. Focus on putting something on paper. Those minutes can turn into a flow state where ideas pop up and ignite your creativity. You might surprise yourself. What starts as a random sketch can bloom into a future project or inspire an entirely new concept. Plus, there's a certain thrill in letting go of expectations and just letting your hand move. It's liberating. Another way to embrace this just do something philosophy is to set manageable goals. You don't need to tackle a sprawling mural or an intricate character design right out of the gate. Instead, how about aiming to complete a small piece of art or even just a few studies each week? Breaking down your tasks into bite-sized pieces makes it feel less daunting, and you'll feel way more accomplished with each little victory. Celebrate them, even if it's just finishing a quick sketch of a coffee cup or experimenting with colors. Acknowledging those small wins keeps your motivation alive. Engaging with prompts or challenges can also be a super fun way to prompt action. There are countless art challenges floating around now, like Inktober or the 30-day drawing challenge. Even if you don't follow them precisely, pulling a prompt from these can help break the ice. Maybe you pick up a theme or a word and let your imagination run wild. This approach gives you a little guidance without the pressure of creating a perfect piece. The goal is to produce something, anything, rather than waiting for inspiration to strike. Let's also be real about one important aspect. Not every piece has to be a showstopper. It's perfectly okay to have days where you create just for the fun of it. Allow yourself to take a break from the tight grip of perfectionism and let loose. Try drawing characters with exaggerated features, or paint abstract art without worrying about the outcome. Sometimes taking a step back and tapping into your inner child can lead to refreshing and exhilarating creative explorations. And they can reignite your passion for art. Don't discount the power of those quick daily doodles or sketches just because they feel small. They add up. In fact, those fragments of creativity can sometimes become the seeds for more extensive projects down the line. They're like breadcrumbs leading you toward your next big idea. If you fill your sketchbook with those little explorations, you might be surprised by what you dig up later. Networking and collaboration can take the doing something idea further. Reach out to fellow artists or illustrators in your community or online. Maybe you embark on a project together, or exchange feedback on each other's work. By actively participating with others, you generate more action and inspiration. Plus, collaborating adds an element of unpredictability that can yield fresh perspective and ideas. Who knows what adventures might arise from bouncing concepts back and forth. As you reflect on how you create, it's worth thinking about your message and what motivated you to become an illustrator in the first place. Remember those dreams and desires. Try bringing them into your work and connect with them every time you create. Activate that passion. This grounding reminder can help fuel action and creativity, since you'll be aligning your creations with what truly matters to you. Another essential piece of advice: don't be afraid to fail. Seriously. Failing can feel pretty scary, especially when you're invested in your art. But I promise it's where some of your most significant growth happens. Each flaw or mishap is an opportunity to learn something new. So, when you mess up, embrace it. Take a breath, step back, and ask yourself what you could do differently next time. It's a trial and error process, and every bit of it is part of the creative journey. Lastly, let's talk about giving yourself permission to create without judging what comes out of it. You are allowed to craft art that feels authentic, even if outside voices like critics or social media make you second guess what you should be doing. Remember, the only requirement for being an artist is to create. So grab your tools, put the pressure aside, and let yourself explore openly. Every stroke, every splash of color is a step on your unique path, and it all counts. In a world that sometimes feels overwhelmed with distractions, remember this simple truth: doing something is the most essential action we can take. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. So, indulge in those creative adventures, embrace the small pieces of work, and let each action propel you forward on your journey. Trust that every little bit enriches your artistic voice, and the only thing standing between you and your dreams is the decision to begin. So go ahead, pick up that pencil, and start creating your own future, because you've got it in you. Thanks for listening, and all the best for your projects. Consider subscribing and give me a thumbs up. Find me on Instagram by following @MartinMiami.